Hey friends, welcome to Creative X. I'm Brad Hussey, your friendly neighborhood web designer. You're probably used to seeing me in this frame or some variation of it. Nice, polished, the lighting's good. But what I see, however, is much different. Seeing it from your perspective is a lot more embarrassing than I realized. Ever since moving into this new space, I've been really grateful because I have a lot of room to create a really beautiful set that I've prioritized for our YouTube channel for Creative X. I want it to look really good, so I've really only focused on that. But what that means is I've sacrificed any semblance of order and organization. So our friends at Grovemade were so kind to send me some really nice desk organization pieces. So I'm gonna show you what's inside this box. We're gonna redo this desk, try to create some order, and I'm also gonna show you, while we're at it, some of the interesting things that goes on behind the scenes, some of the equipment and the gear that I use to create content for you and to run my web design business. All right, so now that we've got a little bit more clean of a space to work with, a little bit of a tabletop to work with, I'm gonna open up this box and we're gonna see what Grovemade sent us. Should have had a knife. Good old-fashioned fingers. Ooh, this is exciting. So, got some coasters. So that's cool. And we've got ourselves a desk mat, which is going to go across here. And it's made of like a wool felt. It's very appealing. Also, I chose the felt one because I get a lot of echo off of this desk. So this desk is a giant white desk. And it's nice because it's got a lot of space, but the problem is that it echoes sound off of it. And so I think this will help as like a sound dampening mechanism, and also it will reduce the white glare that bounces back up on my face so that I have greater control with my studio lights. So I think that this will kind of help me twofold, in addition to being a nice organizational thing. What's this? Ooh, it is a cork and leather mouse pad. I haven't used a mouse pad in like forever. So this is gonna go across the desk, and this is gonna go where the mouse goes to give me kind of a nice space to use the mouse. The reason why I chose the leather one over just using this felt desk pad or wool desk pad is because I worried that with my mouse, with the laser at the bottom, that it wouldn't be good at tracking, whereas a nice clean space for this leather will do a really good job. So that was my theory there. So that's cool. Okay, what else do we got here? We have a desk tray. Really nice boxing and packaging. I love when a product is sent in nice packaging. I feel like that's part of the experience. You know, it's all cardboard, so I can recycle this. And even the tape and stuff is like made of like a paper, like a recycled paper looking thing. So this, cork on the bottom. Oh no, I think it's cork on the inside too. And so this is going to organize miscellaneous things like pens, headphones, notes, miscellaneous doodads. And I feel like I just cleaned up my workspace. And now I'm gonna have to clean it up again. Ooh. Now that's nice. So this is actual laminated wood, and the wood I chose was you could choose maple and you could choose walnut, and you could also choose a veneer of maple or a veneer of walnut with plywood, so that you can actually see the laminated kind of strips of plywood. I splurged a bit and chose the actual walnut wood straight through. It's beautiful. as a woodworker, hobbyist, I really appreciate this. Okay, so now let's just see if I can do this part quickly. And then we've got a little assembly to do here. We've got a little organization to do. I'm gonna have to take this computer down, put some things up, get this thing organized. So let's start off with this. Okay, this is looking very nice. That was super easy to put together. And then my desk tray is supposed to be going in like here. Obviously this is backwards. It's gonna be facing me. So here we have our gear from Grovemade. Let's get this set up. And then I'll give you a little tour of what's going on here in the end result. Let's go. All right, this looks much better thanks to Grovemade. We have a really nice organized desk. Everything is just neatly in place, visually appealing for me, less clutter. I like that. It's much more inspiring. And also for you, you still get a great shot in here on the set. You know, we've got a really nice wool desk pad. It feels nice, reduces the audio reflection for me and the light reflection on my face. Nice coaster, leather coaster for my coffee, tea, water, whatever. Nice leather mouse pad, has nice tracking with the mouse. This is nice, keeps everything organized. We've got the Grovemade desk shelf, which is kind of the feature for me. You don't see much of it in the shot here, but it's a beautiful, solid piece of walnut wood, and it organizes all of my, clutter. It keeps my notepad out of the way, any cables, headphones, and especially it keeps my audio equipment nice and organized and kind of out of the way. It also helps me with cable management. My cables behind this iMac were kind of a mess, so it helped me reduce a little bit, hide a few things away, and it gave me an excuse to tidy things up. The desk tray is really nice to keep the clutter, cables, pens, notepads, USB cables, charging cables, headphones, keeps it out of the way so that when I'm not using it, it's not just taking up space on my desk or making the set and the shot look poor. Now, talk a little bit about the camera gear. I'm using a Sony a7C with a Sigma Art lens, 24 to 70 millimeters, that's what it is. F2.8 lens. It allows me to zoom in, zoom out, change up the shots. I usually use the same shot, but it's a really nice, crisp image, as you've probably noticed, especially in relation to my previous videos on the channel. So that's another big thing. I use a Glide Gear teleprompter. So for some videos, I like to script things out, specifically for, say, intros or outros, or if I'm doing certain videos, I need to script those out. So I'll use that Glide Gear teleprompter. For my computer setup, I have an iMac. It's like a 27-inch, I think. It's the big boy. And I've souped it up with a few things. It just helps for if I'm doing video work or streaming 4K footage. It's a workhorse, and I put it through the ringer, so it tends to work quite well for me. I also have a MacBook Air, which I've neatly tucked away in my desk shelf here. So this is my MacBook Air. It's kind of nice because sometimes I don't want to work in here. This is actually just a room in the basement of our house, and it's a nice size. It works very good for the set. Light controlled, there's only a small window that's covered up by my backdrop, but sometimes I don't want to work in here if I'm not filming or shooting footage. So I'll take this and I'll go out, sit down on the couch, and grab a coffee, listen to music with my earbuds, and work on this. It's usually writing or answering emails, DMs in the Creative X crew, things like that, planning. So that's what that thing is. Next, I use a little device called a Stream Deck. The Stream Deck lets me do things like live stream. I can switch camera angles. I could change apps. I can run automations. There's lots of things you can do with the Stream Deck. I like having it on board. So if I ever need to quickly switch to a new app, or if I'm live streaming and I want to switch scenes, cameras, change effects, I can even change the backlights. I could do whatever that connects to the internet via Zapier, or if this, then that. I can connect to the Stream Deck and do lots of really cool things with that. For the audio equipment, I have the Shure SM7B. It's a very common microphone. You see lots of podcasters, musicians using it, and it's popular for a reason. It's a really good microphone. The thing with this microphone, however, is it's low signal because it's a dynamic microphone with a really low signal output. And so you need a preamp to boost that up. Some people use a cloud lifter, or there's other inline plug-in things that you can plug in with the XLR cable just to boost the signal. I am a bit of an audiophile. I love nice quality audio. I like to record music as a hobby, and I really appreciate good sound, which kind of brings me to my almost unnecessary, but for me, totally enjoyable and necessary piece of equipment. It's a bit overkill, but it's amazing. It's the DBX 286S. It's a mic preamp and preprocessor, and that basically, I run this cable into the DBX, and then that allows me to set a bunch of things like the mic preamp, so I could boost the signal on the microphone, and I could do things like turn on a compressor so that if I'm talking a little quietly, it'll still bring my voice up. If I'm talking a little bit loud like this, sometimes I get excited in my videos, it'll level those levels out. It keeps things nice and level, boosts signal, it de-esses, so it'll take out the plosives and the S sounds a little bit. I can adjust that to my liking, to my voice. It enhances low frequencies, high frequencies. I can adjust everything manually with the knobs here. And I can do something with an expander and a gate, so I can bring up quiet sounds. And when I stop speaking, you don't hear the kids stomping around or playing the drums outside of my studio door, because it reduces the sound when I'm not speaking. And I can do all of that, customize it, set it and forget it. For me, it's a wonderful piece of equipment because I don't need to adjust the audio afterwards. It's all done. What you're hearing right now is the exact signal that's going into this unit from the microphone. There's no editing afterwards for the microphone. That then plugs into my Scarlett 2i2 audio interface. It's a very simple, kind of affordable piece of equipment. It goes from the microphone into the DBX. The DBX plugs into the Scarlett 2i2, and the 2i2 plugs into my computer. So that's the audio interface. That takes the signal from this equipment and turns it into an audio signal that my computer can then read. And so that's that equipment. I have this boom arm as well, which is super nice because when I'm working, I can move it out of the way, or if I'm adjusting, where I'm speaking, I can easily kind of move it however I want. It's nice and clean, and when I'm done, I can just put it out of the way. As for lighting, this part is kind of my favorite new addition to the set, to the studio. I've often in the past, for years, with my videos and live streams, I've avoided good lighting because it tends to be pretty expensive, and I never prioritized it. I don't know why, because when I look at my old videos compared to my most recent videos, it's night and day difference. Lighting makes all the difference. You can have a subpar camera and great lighting. You can use your iPhone camera with great lighting, and it's amazing. You can use an expensive multi-$1,000 camera and poor lighting, and your footage is gonna look bad. So I finally have great lighting. I've got the Aperture Amaran 200D with a light dome too. It's a giant softbox connected to this really powerful but affordable light. So Aperture has a lineup of pro products that filmmakers and creators use, but it's pretty expensive. The lights are super expensive. But they came out with a new, more budget-friendly line called the Amaran line. And that's mainly for content creators like myself, who doesn't want to spend, a couple grand on just one light. So it was a pretty affordable price. And I got the nice big light dome. It gives me this big light. And it's pretty pleasant on my skin tone. Sometimes my face can get a little bit red and kind of shiny. So this really helps to kind of make it look as pleasant as possible. And then I have, that's my key light, my secondary light, which I either use for a fill light, which right now I have it back over here. Sometimes I have it back behind me as a bit of a hair light. And that's the Amaran 60D with a lantern softbox. So the 60D is just a tiny little light, but it puts out a lot of power. And that light lantern softbox gives me kind of a nice, broad, kind of soft, gentle, diffused light. I usually use it for a hair light. Most of my videos, that's where it is. It's behind and above me, and it gives me a nice ring of light by my hair. But right now I'm using a white backdrop, or a light backdrop, and that basically makes it so you can see me from the background. If I'm using my dark backdrop, which you've seen as well, I will tend to have that lantern behind me, giving me a little bit of separation from the dark, especially if I'm wearing a dark shirt. I got dark hair, dark shirt, dark mustache. You know, I separate myself from the background a bit. And those are both on C-stands. I just got those on Amazon, but they're pretty hefty because these lights are not that cheap. I mean, they're the budget-friendly ones, but I don't want these to break. And they're heavy, especially this giant softbox. So it's on a C-stand. It's really sturdy. It takes up a lot of space in the studio, but this is primarily a set, so I leave them where they are. Next up on the list, to control these lights, actually, they come with a really cool app called the Sidus Link. And basically, it just connects to my lights. I can go to my fixtures and I can control what I want the lights to look like. And I can customize it for the video, and I can do anything I want. So for example, I'm gonna turn off these lights. So this is my Key Studio light. I'm gonna turn that off. There we go. So the Key Studio light is off. I can adjust that how I want. Right now I have it set to 74%, but I can adjust it to say a quarter, half, full, but I kind of like 75% for this video. Now the other light is my cob light. That's what I call it, the cob light. I think the 60D is called a cob. Anyway, that one I can turn off. Changes it up a little bit, more dramatic. Turn it on. It's a quarter, half, or full. It's a little bit bright, so I'm gonna turn that back down to a quarter, and that looks nice. Now finally, this is kind of cool. I have a set of strip lights. This is the other light, the other set of lights that I have by Amaran, and it's the SM5C LED RGB strip lights. And they're smart lights. I can control any of the colors. I can customize the colors exactly how I want. So as a designer, this is great because I can put the actual hex codes. So if I'm doing a video with like Dribble, for example, I just look up their hex code for their logo and their brand, and I just set it to back here. So for example, you know, I can take the strip light here and I can move it all around, changes the color. Now I can also do things like choose kind of a gradient, and I can control individual sets of the light. So I can customize this, and I'm going to turn this on. So this is kind of like a blue to pink gradient that I've set up, and it looks nice. I can also adjust how bright it is or not. I can individually control certain sets. I can control all of them at once. And it's really a ton of fun. So those are my lights. Really makes a difference in the videos. I really enjoy that. Now, as for other equipment that I use, I mean, there's lots of things that happen around here. I've got this IKEA sit stand desk, but I mostly just leave it right here because the set is kind of fixed. If I bring this up, then you're going to start to see more of the lights and maybe the ceiling, and I don't really want to show that part. I have a really crappy task chair. You might have seen how worn this is. This is really old. And it's absolutely terrible on my back. I have yet to invest in a good chair. I just can't justify the price for some reason, but maybe arguably it's better if I get a good chair so I don't wreck my back because I'm sitting a lot. Any suggestions on an amazing task chair, especially for say low back issues, which I have, let me know, because this piece of garbage is a piece of garbage. I got a nice fake plant here. It's not real. I'm not gonna water that and it gets no natural light. So fake plant for the win. It looks beautiful. I also have a series of smart plugs so that I can just turn things on and off either from my Stream Deck or my phone. When I come in here, I could just boom, turn on the camera and the lights, all of the lights. I can adjust the settings and just click it and it just turns on. Really nice for recording. I also have a smart plug that plugs everything in so I can adjust things. I can do custom automations. It's really nice to have. And the final thing that I actually have here is this big giant backdrop. Right now it's white and I'm using this to customize the color. This is just a white Savage seamless paper backdrop. I believe it's about 12 feet wide. It's the full width of the room and it's super long. It goes the full height of the room. So I got this big clean backdrop. And I also have a black one that I often use. And once the black one is down, I change the color of the strip lights, changes it all up. It's really nice. So that for me was also a really nice thing to have. I have them on rollers so I can pull them up, I can pull them down. All right, there it is, a full desk makeover thanks to Grovemade. If you want to check out any of these products or any of the other products they have in their store, there's a lot. Check them out in the description below. Those are my affiliate links, which means if you decide to buy something like this mouse pad or this really awesome desk stand, then I will get a small commission from Grovemade at no extra cost to you. I wouldn't recommend this if I didn't like it. In fact, I love it. This has completely transformed my workspace and my set. I'm very excited about it. And if you liked this video, a little bit of the behind the scenes, seeing what's going on behind the scenes here at Creative X, just let me know down in the description if you want to see more stuff like this. If you have any questions, put it down in the comment. And until next time, I'll see you in another video. Cheers.